Mr. Lowry back from lunch?
He's lunching with the man who's buying the Harris Street property. You know the oil lease man? That's why he's late. You got a headache?
Oh, it'll pass. Headaches are like resolutions. You forget them as soon as they stop hurting.
Have you got some aspirin?
Marion, what in the world? What are you doing up here? Of course, I'm glad to see you. I always am. What is it, Marion?
Gee, I'm sorry I didn't hear you in all this rain. Go ahead in, please. Dirty night.
You have a vacancy?
Oh, we have 12 vacancies. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. They moved away the highway.
Oh, I thought I'd gotten off the main road.
I knew you must have. Nobody ever stops here anymore unless they've done that. But there's no sense dwelling on our losses. We just keep on lighting the lights and following the formalities. Your home address? Oh, just the town will do.
Los Angeles.
Cabin 1. It's closer in case you want anything. Right next to the office.
I want sleep more than anything else, except maybe food.
Well, there's a big diner about 10 miles up the road, just outside of Fairvale.
Am I that close to Fairvale?
15 miles. I'll get your bags.
No, I tell you, no. I won't have you bringing strange young girls in for supper. By candlelight, I suppose, in the cheap, erotic fashion of young men with cheap, erotic minds.
Mother, please.
And then what? After supper, music? Whispers?
Mother, she's just a stranger. She's hungry and it's raining out.
Mother, she's just a stranger. As if men don't desire strangers. As if... Oh, I refuse to speak of disgusting things because they disgust me. You understand, boy? Go on, go tell her she'll not be appeasing her ugly appetite with my food, or my son. Or do I have to tell her because you don't have the guts? Huh, boy? You have the guts, boy?
Shut up! Shut up!
You eat like a bird.
You'd know, of course.
No, not really. Anyway, I hear the expression eats like a bird. It is really a falsity. Because birds really eat a tremendous lot. But I don't really know anything about birds. My hobby is stuffing things. You know, taxidermy. And I guess I'd just rather stuff birds because I hate the look of beasts when they're stuffed. You know, foxes and chimps. Some people even stuff dogs and cats, but, oh, I can't do that. I think only birds look well stuffed because they're kind of passive to begin with.
It's a strange hobby. Curious.
Uncommon, too.
Oh, I imagine so.
And it's not as expensive as you'd think. It's cheap, really. You know, needles, thread, sawdust. The chemicals are the only thing that cost anything. I don't hate her. I hate what she's become. I hate the illness.
Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
You mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? Put her in someplace.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound uncaring.
What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears, and the cruel eyes studying you. My mother there. But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of those stuffed birds.
I am sorry. I only felt... It seems she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest, oh, so very delicately. Of course, I've suggested it myself. But I hate to even think about it. She needs me. It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Yes. Sometimes just one time can be enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman.
Norman.
Oh, you're not going back to your room already?
I'm very tired. And I'll have a long drive tomorrow, all the way back to Phoenix.
Really?
I stepped into a private trap back there, and I'd like to go back and try to pull myself out of it.
Oh, God, Mother! Blood! Blood!
You out to buy a motel?
No.
Reason I asked, you said you'd seen so many in the past couple of days, I thought maybe you, What was it you wanted to ask?
Well, you see, I'm looking for a missing person. My name's Arbogast. I'm a private investigator. I've been trying to trace a girl that's been missing for, about a week now from Phoenix. It's a private matter. The family wants to forgive her. She's not in any trouble.
I didn't think the police went looking for people who aren't in trouble.
Oh, I'm not the police.
Oh, yeah?
We have reason to believe that she came along this way, may have stopped in the area. Did she stop here?
Well, no one stopped here for a couple of weeks.
Do you mind looking at the picture before committing yourself?
Commit myself? You sure talk like a policeman.
Look at the picture, please. Sure?
Yeah.
Hello, Lila. Lila, listen. Marion was up here. Yeah, she spent last Saturday night at the Bates Motel. It's right out here on the old highway. I even know what cabin she was in. It was number 1. Well, this young fellow that runs the place said that she just spent the night, left the next day, and that was it. No, not exactly. Well, I did question him, believe me, but I think I got all there was to get. I'll just have to pick up the pieces from here. Well, I tell you, I don't feel entirely satisfied. See, this boy had a sick old mother. I think she saw Marion and talked to her. No, unfortunately, he wouldn't let me see her. Well, I was, but I think I'll go back to the motel first. No, you stay there with Loomis. I'll be back in about an hour. All right, fine. Listen, you'll be happy to know what I think. I think our friend, Sam Loomis, didn't know that Marion was here. Yeah. All right, see you in about an hour, or less. Bye-bye.
Thanked him, and he went away.
And he didn't come back? He didn't see the mother?
Your detective told you he couldn't come right back because he was going to question Norman Bates's mother, right?
Yes.
Norman Bates's mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years.
I helped Norman pick out the dress she was buried in. Periwinkle blue.
It ain't only local history, Sam. It's the only case of murder and suicide on Fairvale ledgers. Mrs. Bates poisoned this guy she was involved with when she found out he was married, then took a helping of the same stuff herself. Strychnine. Ugly way to die.
Norman found them dead together. In bed.
You mean that old woman I saw sitting in the window out there wasn't Bates' mother?
Now, wait a minute, Sam. Are you sure you saw an old woman?
Yes, in the house behind the motel. I called and pounded, but she just ignored me.
You want to tell me you saw Norman Bates's mother?
But it had to be. Because Arbogast said so, too. And the young man wouldn't let him see her because she was too ill.
Well, if the woman up there is Mrs. Bates, who's that woman buried out in Green Lawn Cemetery?
Looking for me? Why, yes, as a matter of fact. Wife's taking a nap, and I never could keep quiet enough for her, so I just thought I'd look you up and talk. Good. You satisfied with your cabin? Oh, it's fine.
Do what?
Buy a new one. In a new town where you won't have to hide your mother.
Why don't you just get in your car and drive away from here, okay?
Where will you get the money to do that, Bates? Or do you already have it? Socked away.
Shut up.
A lot of it. $40,000. I bet your mother knows where the money is and what you did to get it. I think she'll tell us.
Where's that girl you came here with? Where is she?
Mrs. Bates.
You warm enough, miss?
Yes.
Did he talk to you?
No. I got the whole story, but not from Norman. I got it from his mother. Norman Bates no longer exists. He only half existed to begin with. And now, the other half has taken over. Probably for all time.
Did he kill my sister?
Yes. And no.
Well, now, look, if you're trying to lay some psychiatric groundwork for some sort of plea, this fellow would like to cop.
A psychiatrist doesn't lay the groundwork. He merely tries to explain it.
But my sister is...
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. The private investigator, too. If you drag that swamp somewhere in the vicinity of the motel, you'll... Have you any unsolved missing persons cases on your books?
Yes, 2.
Young girls?
Did he confess to...
Like I said, the mother. Now, to understand it the way I understood it, hearing it from the mother, that is, from the mother half of Norman's mind, you have to go back 10 years to the time when Norman murdered his mother and her lover. Now, he was already dangerously disturbed. Had been ever since his father died. His mother was a clinging, demanding woman. And for years, the two of them lived as if there was no one else in the world. Then she met a man. And it seemed to Norman that she threw him over for this man. Now, that pushed him over the line, and he killed them both. Matricide is probably the most unbearable crime of all. Most unbearable to the son who commits it. So he had to erase the crime, at least in his own mind. He stole her corpse. A weighted coffin was buried. He hid the body in the fruit cellar. Even treated it to keep it as well as it would keep. And that still wasn't enough. She was there. But she was a corpse. So he began to think and speak for her. Give her half his life, so to speak. At times, he could be both personalities, carry on conversations. At other times, the mother half took over completely. Now, he was never all Norman. But he was often only mother. And because he was so pathologically jealous of her, he assumed that she was as jealous of him. Therefore, if he felt a strong attraction to any other woman, the mother's side of him would go wild. When he met your sister, he was touched by her, aroused by her. He wanted her. That set off the jealous mother, and mother killed the girl. Now, after the murder, Norman returned as if from a deep sleep. And like a dutiful son, covered up all traces of the crime he was convinced his mother had committed.
Why was he dressed like that?
He's a transvestite.
Not exactly. A man who dresses in women's clothing in order to achieve a sexual change or satisfaction is a transvestite. But in Norman's case, he was simply doing everything possible to keep alive the illusion of his mother being alive. And when reality came too close, when danger or desire threatened that illusion, he'd dress up, even to a cheap wig he bought. He'd walk about the house, sit in her chair, speak in her voice. He tried to be his mother. And now he is. Now, that's what I meant when I said I got the story from the mother. You see, when the mind houses two personalities, there's always a conflict, a battle. In Norman's case, the battle is over, and the dominant personality has won.
And the $40,000? Who got that?
The swamp. These were crimes of passion, not profit.
He feels a little chill. Can I bring him this blanket?
Sure.
All right.
It's sad when a mother has to speak the words that condemn her own son, but I couldn't allow them to believe that I would commit murder. They'll put him away now, as I should have, years ago. He was always bad, and in the end he intended to tell them I killed those girls and that man, as if I could do anything except just sit and stare, like one of his stuffed birds. Well, they know I can't even move a finger, and I won't. I'll just sit here and be quiet, just in case they do suspect me. They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even going to swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see, and they'll know, and they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.